What's up, guys?
Welcome to a new live stream, guys.
So we had the dates kind of messed up.
Technical difficulty on my end. I apologize for that. When I was doing my newsletter is typically when I create the live stream for the coming week, and I forgot to change the date and time. But for those of you who are regular, you'll know that it's always Mondays at this time at noon Eastern time. So for those who are here, great. Dave D, thank you for saying hi in the comments.
So really quickly, I just want to go over this. $117 million of Bitcoin went from Coinbase into a cold wallet recently. So a couple of days ago. So this is continually happening all the time. There's so much
bullish.
There's so much Bitcoin going from centralized exchanges into cold wallets. And that's really exciting because that means like the bull run is still incredibly healthy. There's nothing to worry about right now. This is one of the biggest indicators that I look at to make sure that I am on the right page on maybe if coins are being sent back to the exchange, that's a red flag. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So people are holding, and that's great.
Exactly.
Hey everyone, hey traders and Richard O, Dave D in the comments. Glad you guys could be here. We're going to talk about PayPal and Visa. PayPal, this topic is going to be leading into another video I'm going to do this week. I think I touched a nerve with the crypto crowd, a good one. What no one is saying about whatever. So the topic for this week will be PayPal. Additionally, spoiler alert, Toby and Hugo will be doing another video this week talking about
Solana.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to that. We've done really well. Our Patreon members have done incredibly well in Solana. And so we will actually be diving really deep into this. Actually not Hugo. I'm actually having another friend on. His name is Kent Halliburton. He is one of the smartest guys I've ever met in this group, in this space. Yeah. So we've been friends for a long time. He's an OG like you've never seen before. And he's made some incredible calls, and it's really cool to have him on. And another note for our Patreon members, Hugo wants to actually, we've been collaborating together, and I was like, there's a lot of people that want to have their portfolio looked at by us.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, we just don't have time. But he also is amazing at it. He's just as amazing as us. And so we're considering having another level on our Patreon to have him look at maybe 10 to 20 a month, not a lot, just so that he can spend time on people's portfolio. We'll figure out the pricing schedule on that and whatnot. So just letting you know, we're considering doing that for our Patreon members. And also, it's helpful during a bull run, and it's also helpful during a bear run or bear market as well. So just keep that in mind. It's not just about making tons of money. It's also about like holding on, making sure you don't lose that. You know what I mean? So that's really important.
Exactly. And I know there's a lot of people pouring into crypto now. Obviously, it's getting hyped up. It's easy to make money during a bull run. But if you can figure out a strategy that also works during a bear market, that's when you're going to win. And that's when you're going to be riding these cycles in the market in a winning strategy, really, rather than always playing catch up and losing. So that's going to be interesting for us too, having this Patreon group during this time. I mean, we've obviously personally experienced a few cycles of bull runs and bear markets, but to help other people and see what kind of questions come up will be a learning experience for everyone.
And really quick, a great shout out to Hodler. They make this shirt. It's the Genesis block. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really.
I'll get in there. Wait.
Okay.
Hold on.
So
let me zoom in on it.
Okay, so really enjoy this shirt. It's pretty cool. The Genesis block is pretty much the first block for Bitcoin. And they created this shirt.
And it says, the world will have to readjust.
Absolutely. They definitely are. Speaking about readjusting, banks are going to have to readjust. Everything's going to have to readjust with this space. I mean, NFTs, I'm looking at, there's like digital real estate now that, it's going to possibly take place. Naval, if you know that philosopher guy, he's really into Bitcoin. He's been touting it for a long time. And he actually recently did a post. I can, if you want to continue, I'll try to find the post.
Okay. Yeah. So let's start. Just talk about the first topic, PayPal. There's a lot about PayPal that, people don't necessarily like. There are some pros and cons to it. Of course, I'm going to be covering both sides of these, but there's just some things I feel like anyone new to crypto and PayPal should be aware of. If you are subscribed to our newsletter, you would have gotten a heads up about these. But anyway, this is an article published by CoinDesk last week. Do you want me to read through it, or you want to go ahead?
No, I'll read this off really quick.
Okay.
Public blockchain. This is from Naval.
Yeah.
Public blockchains will be the title registries for everything of value. Ultimately, NFTs will authenticate the world. And
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that. Just because, people are buying stupid stuff on NFTs and whatnot, that's kind of how things start, That's how the internet started. I mean, the internet wasn't used at the beginning for like emails and stuff. It was just used for just random crap. And then it turned into something really great,
Yeah, I feel like NFTs too are also kind of becoming synonymous with these little JPEG images on Ethereum that are selling for like millions of dollars, but they stand for non-fungible token. And any platform or blockchain that has enabled smart contracts can create their own NFTs. And how that concept is applied, I think is going to be, like you were saying, really cool and bringing the real world onto the blockchain. And that's what, is great. That's what I think a lot of people need.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's kind of started out with CryptoKitties, essentially. And, it started out just kind of goofy. And now it's turned into something a little more to where people are paying $70 million for a piece of art and NFT. And I expect that to keep on going and then crash and possibly just morph into something else. This is just how things work. So, whatever. Just ride the train, and that's good. Anyways, okay. Josh, good to see you guys. Kaipo, Danny, what's up, William? Dalton.
We got someone from Siberia.
Awesome.
Also.
Osoa. Aloha from Siberia. So it's Hawaiian. Are
NFTs? Danny's asking, are NFTs a craze or long term?
NFTs are a craze right now.
Yeah.
But I think it definitely has long term. It's got longevity. A lot of longevity to
potential.
Yeah, for sure. But keep in mind, we're gonna see a big crash.
Yeah.
Eventually, not right now, but eventually you'll see a big crash, and people are like kind of dismiss NFTs, but then things will get a little more serious during like a bear run. Bear markets are great for innovation and non-hype. So I really like bear markets as well. And you guys will too, if you guys are following our Patreon, because you guys are going to do great on that.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to go ahead and read over and keep in mind for you guys watching here in the live chat, this is also an AMA. So feel free to list your questions at the end. We got time for that. And I also have some questions from Patreon members from previous posts that I'd like to cover as well. But so basically, PayPal is here's one thing that this article keeps kind of touching on, and anyone talking about PayPal is really quick to kind of lend this bull market to PayPal integrating crypto. If you look at the chart of Bitcoin, PayPal first announced they're going to be allowing their users to buy and hold cryptocurrencies. You can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. That happened in October 2020. So if you look at it, it does kind of look like that's when the bull run started kicking off. So I don't know that it was totally PayPal's, they're the one that did it for us or not. Probably not. But anyway, similarly in this article, it's saying now that there's news where you can actually use these cryptos to make purchases with like over 29 million of their merchants that they've partnered with. Now they're saying it's drove the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies up by more than 1,000.
Oh, come on.
$1,000. That's really not much to brag about at this point. It's a blink of an eye.
It's part of it. I mean, you
It
also
is,
have
yeah.
like giant corporations buying Bitcoin, spending billions on it. Like I said, somebody just spent $117 million on Bitcoin and are putting it away. If they're not going to put it on the exchange right now, it's gone. And it's going to be very difficult for that person to sell it as well. That takes a lot of time as well without dumping it. And I'm sure that person that's putting it into a safe place probably isn't wanting to play with it too much. So, yeah.
So one thing to note is that even though it seems like these merchants are accepting cryptocurrency as a form of payment, they're actually not. You're technically selling that crypto for whatever currency that merchant accepts. And because of that, that event is a taxable event for you, especially if you're a U.S. citizen. Just know that you are selling your crypto for currency, and that is the transaction happening. So pay attention to that. But basically, this will be rolling out in the next couple weeks to the U.S. and then across the world, I think in like a few months or like later on this year. But it's really interesting. What's that phrase? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. So I don't know what part this is, if this is winning.
Well, we've already won.
Yeah, I know, but like
big time.
Yeah, we've already won, but it's like they don't know that yet, right? So this whole adoption of crypto with PayPal to me is like a half-assed way to do it, really. Because the things with PayPal that I think most people don't realize, if you read the terms and conditions for cryptocurrencies on PayPal, you'll easily understand that your funds are not insured in any way, shape, or form. And also, you'll know that you cannot send those coins to a wallet that you control. It has to be stayed within PayPal. And now with this new integration with their other 29 million merchants, you can only spend it within those people. So it is kind of like a really censored network to be interacting with your cryptocurrencies. Basically, they're just letting you speculate on the price because they can't let you actually use it for anything else besides buying and selling. So, yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think the majority of people will not care. You know what I mean? I mean, they don't care about the FDIC being completely unable to cover people's losses if the entire banking structure collapsed. So, like this is just whatever. I mean, people are going to sign up and do this, and PayPal is going to continue buying up Bitcoin. And it's just one way of integrating Bitcoin for PayPal, because if they didn't do this, they're going to be irrelevant. They're going to be completely wiped out. The innovation in crypto is so much more than PayPal, who has to deal with immense bureaucracy, first of all.
Yeah.
Where we are dealing with something that's global and permissionless, so you can't compete with that. So this was a comment from my newsletter on Patreon from TechnoWiz. I thought it was a great comment. He says, PayPal's gas fees are brutal and phone services are terrible. I just shut down the corporate account I've had 18 years. Friends with stellar track records dropped PayPal when beta testing showed PayPal couldn't handle or wasn't smart enough to handle the business from the merchant bank that they're building. Wall Street sharks smell blood from long distances. Expect PayPal to end up like Blockbuster Video. And I think that's really where we're at right now when you see platforms like Visa, PayPal, and banks now trying to adopt or kind of put themselves, make themselves relevant with this whole cryptocurrency space. That's all that they're trying to do. They're not needed. Their existence is exactly what cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin was created to take them out of the equation. So for them to try to act like, you need them or they're so helpful, it's just not the case. And so really that's that phrase I was saying before, that quote, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then they win. It's like, all right, they've given up and now they're just trying to stay relevant. And yeah, I just see them fading by the wayside because as regulations ramp up, PayPal's based in the U.S., it's gonna have some hoops to jump through, and it's not gonna be
the easiest or most free way to interact with cryptocurrencies.
David had an interesting question. It's kind of off topic, but
Okay.
Do you see an issue with the same word in your 24-word seed phrases twice? No.
I think obviously you're not creating your own 24-word seed phrase. How those work is that it's the order of the letters that determine the encryption of your wallet. I think I've had that before happen for me as well. I don't think it's an issue. I think, as long as it's not the same word 24 times, that's pretty easy to guess for someone. Basically, just like a password, if it's easy for you to remember, it's probably not a very secure password. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's too much of an issue. Also, I want to read out Dalton Lawhon's comment. He just said, just wanted to thank you two and all the YouTubers who have been helping me. I have been learning technical analysis and crypto in general on my phone. I turned my $600 stimulus into about $5,000 again. Thanks.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Great, Dalton. Awesome. We'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Okay. Josh Atkinson says, I'm going to have to start making witty comments on your newsletter. That would be great. I would appreciate that. So Debbie Johns asked, she's a Patreon member as well. This is a message she sent me today. Hi, maybe a question you can cover in a live stream or for me here, but I have seen headlines, interviews there's a possible stock market real estate crash in a few months from the Harry Dent interview. He mentions of Buffett and Gates selling stocks. Would appreciate your thoughts on this and how it may not affect crypto if this does happen. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks for all that you do. Cheers, Deb.
I mean, as far as Harry Dent is, I think more of a gold guy, right? So, gold's been slaughtered. It's because, you have the LBMA, CME completely manipulating the price of gold. And if you think that's a conspiracy, just type in JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs manipulation of silver. So yeah, with that said, whatever with Harry Dent, I think he's been around for a while. I don't know about his calls or whatever, but okay, fine. And then Warren Buffett,
But really what she's asking is a crash on the stock market and a real estate market. How will that affect crypto if it does? How do you see it affecting it?
It's going to be interesting because I see that central banks are going to be continually printing money or printing currency. And so when they print more and more currency, that's going to raise the price of things. It's called inflation. Mm-hmm. And so, I think that inflation is going to definitely ramp up even more, especially the more that, say, in the U.S., there's going to be $2 trillion or $1.9 trillion of stimulus checks that have just been printed that are going to be directly injected into the economy. Mm-hmm. And, that's $2 trillion, boom, right in the economy. That's going to make things really expensive, and I see more and more of this because I understand debt and I understand how the debt system works, and what it requires is more and more debt to pay off the prior debt. Mm-hmm. But they're essentially not paying off anything anymore. They're just printing like crazy to essentially own everything. Like Gregory Mannarino says, they're trying to literally own the world, and that's what they're doing. The more these guys print, the more they can buy. They can purchase real estate, whatever. They can purchase stocks. So they're owning pretty much everything. Look at the Fed balance sheet. It went from 3.5 trillion to over 8 or about 8 trillion now, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. From 3.5 to 8 in a year. Wow, we've never seen that before, ever. So yeah, expect tons of inflation, and that will increase the prices of housing, I think. And eventually there's going to be a correction.
He's calling for a correction in the next couple of weeks or a couple months. Yeah,
but okay, so Warren Buffett calling for a correction in crypto is Peter Schiff calling for a correction in crypto. You know what I mean? Guy said...
Sorry, let me reread the comment. She said that this Harry Dent interview, he mentions the possibility of stock market real estate crash in a few months. And then he also refers to the fact that Buffett and Gates are selling stocks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So just because they're selling stocks doesn't really mean too much because, I mean, for instance, they were late to the game or at least Buffett was late to the game with tech stocks back in the 90s, right? And so they kind of missed a lot of the boat. And with Bitcoin, he's considering it, it's pretty much rat poison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I wouldn't listen too much of these guys. These guys have different vested interests and will say things to try to dissuade people.
She was saying
for stocks.
If the stock market and real estate market crashes, what do you think will happen to crypto?
Well,
That's
okay.
the question.
So I'm going off of like, I think these guys are trying to mislead people. But as far as what's going to happen to crypto, I think that you possibly will see a huge downside. But the thing is, with that said, Bitcoin and its accumulation with huge corporations, with states now, that it probably isn't going to go down 82% like it did the prior 3 bull runs or whatever, or bear runs. So I would chillax on that because, for instance, we're not going to sell hardly any of our Bitcoin because we know that these guys that are buying right now probably won't be even selling during a bear market, regardless of what the stock market does, whatever the real estate market does. That's just one of the reasons why we're selling. We understand that these guys are going to use Bitcoin as collateral, so they won't actually have to ever sell their Bitcoin. I mean, you have to be kind of crazy to want to sell your Bitcoin because it's the only asset in the world that the more demand it has, the supply never changes. Like, can you name an asset like that? I can't. There's nothing like that. Gold, no. Like the more supply, the more demand gold has or silver has, the more they're going to be sending out their miners and going to find more gold. You can't do that with Bitcoin. You just can't. It's a set supply.
It is what it is, and that's all it will ever be.
Plus, you have probably 4 to 5 to 6 million Bitcoin that are off the table forever, that are lost, gone. Plus you have
RIP.
Plus you have Satoshis. Like, I mean, I'm talking about, the supply is ridiculous with Bitcoin, and I'm not worried at all with what the price of Bitcoin is going to be doing. But the alts, oh my gosh, get rid of your freaking alts when
enjoy those profits and use them,
guys. I am eyeing the outflows of exchanges like a hawk every single day. But I'm gonna be calling it pretty early. I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm taking profits now. I don't care if it goes up another 100%. It doesn't matter for me. Like, I'm just gonna get rid of the alts and then either put some back in Bitcoin or put it into USDC or USDG or something like that. But we'll let everybody else know on our Patreon stuff. So.
Crypto Footsteps, he said, following you guys since 2017 and left crypto to return for a bull run. Finally a Patreon member. Thank you for joining and happy to have you back. Welcome to the crypto land. Josh Atkinson also has a question. In your opinion, why in the heck isn't the Bitcoin price higher than what it is? Is it purely OTC transactions not driving it up? I feel like Coinbase sucks it all up and they sell OTC.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a lot of things, I think whales are now realizing that, hey, let's not buy this up too fast. I mean, look what it's done. It's kind of just hovering around 55 or
59.
54 to 59. Like,
hello.
Like, okay, hits about 60, then boom, straight back down. I mean, obviously there's whales 59. Manipulating the price. It's fine, whatever, and I think it's actually really healthy. The longer that we stay around this price and just chill and it's accumulated, the higher the price is going to go, guys. Yeah. You don't understand. Like this is what accumulation phase is. Like, this is total accumulation right here. And the longer it stays, the more excited I get, because it's kind of like rocket fuel being added into the Bitcoin price at these levels. Like when it takes off, oh my gosh, just stand out of the way. We're going to have such a crazy rally in Bitcoin. You won't believe your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think OTC trades has a lot to do with it, especially considering the type of people who are buying, or type of institutions that are buying Bitcoin now versus 2017. It was really mostly retail, especially at the end, which is what sent it skyrocketing. I think that's going to happen again once retail really starts FOMOing into this market. And it's just not there yet. I don't know. Maybe it takes a stock market crash to get people to get into crypto. Who knows?
Yeah. So DD51854 says, Harry Dent is a gold guy, heavily invested in China. Take everything he says with a grain of salt. Yeah, I do take everything that I've heard with a grain of salt. I used to, I've been listening to, I used to be a gold and silver guy, and I used to listen to,
we forgive you.
Yeah. Like Jim Rogers and I think I listened to Harry Dent a couple times. Mike Maloney's great. Actually, he's really knowledgeable on the history of money and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I think that, just be careful of who you listen to and just relax kind of, even if somebody's super bearish or whatever on this. And, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. Here's it one, Juan Zayas. What if they decide to close exchanges? Okay, so the U.S., I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to close exchanges in the U.S. That government can do whatever it wants, and they just don't give a crap about you. So with that said, they might, but it doesn't matter because, if, for instance, Bitcoin dips and the rest of the market dips, guess who's going to be jumping in? There's plenty of people who are going to, take up all that Bitcoin that people are going to have to sell or want to sell or panic sell, that's just what happens, and then, bring it on, let them go for it.
Yeah, that's right. Someone was asking. Okay. Giovanni asked, in the past, gold was banned. Do you think the government will ban crypto? No. I know that they cannot ban crypto. And I'm very happy to shout that from the mountaintop. Yeah. Just like you were saying, they can shut down the exchanges. They cannot stop my ability from sending you cryptocurrency if I wanted to.
Ever. For the rest of our lives, they will not be able to do it.
Let's just give a round of applause for the cryptocurrency community. Yeah, for that ability.
Great. That's why they call it permissionless. It really, truly is permissionless. And that's incredible. And considering it's global and permissionless, I know a lot of people say that as global, it's permissionless, blah, blah, blah. But it's really true. And it's really important to understand that. So when governments say, hey, we're going to ban Bitcoin, like India was like, or people say like that's threatening to ban it or whatever, like news articles. You can laugh at it and then you can actually take advantage of the price dips when they come.
If they come, yeah.
Yeah, if they come, yeah. And that's just it's just taking money from
the irony is that each time a government threatens to ban it or some kind of really heavy restrictions on it, it sends the price up because it sends those people to that thing. It's really cool. Yeah, and also, the reason why they can't ban it is because it's decentralization. The more decentralized a network is, the more robust it is against any one entity trying to control it. Whether it's a government, a corporation, one crazy developer guy, that one person or whatever, single-mindedness cannot take down the network. So I think that's great. Jeff is asking how to sign up for Patreon and what do we get? Thanks. There's a link to it down below in the video description saying how to join the CT Club. You just go to patreon.com/cryptotips. And what do they get?
Yeah, well, I put out a lot of trade alerts and I don't want to, I know everybody has a certain amount of money to invest or whatever. Yeah. Like I put out like many trade alerts a week. Yeah. Because I really feel like what I'm getting into is going to be good. And sometimes I sell things and I put things in different coins as well. And, keep in mind, you don't need to get into everything that we are buying. We're using our staking profits to buy a lot of these coins. And as well as we recently took some profits as well. So I think it's really important to take some profits when you've made a huge investment and maybe put it into something that you think is going to blow up later. It's risky, but I think it can play well.
Also at this point in time in this bull run, we are very much secured in our core holdings. We established that a year and a half ago. And so now we're just kind of playing with the more risky investments, not as much money, obviously.
Sure.
But so in addition to those trade alerts, you'll also get access to our crypto portfolio, the different cryptocurrencies that we're holding, the percentages that they make up within our portfolio. And I also always give a write-up of, why we're holding these coins, why, some they're risky, and that's why they're only allocated a small amount. Also, you will have access to, I think about 10 now, classes that will help you better navigate this whole cryptocurrency space, what to expect, security things to be aware of, and stuff like that. And also, you can send us messages. If you have any questions, we're always happy to help if we can.
Caesar77, when are you going to publish a Bisc tutorial? I think you've already done one, right?
I did a class on it
years ago, right?
I did a class on it on Patreon showing how to invest in cryptocurrency with and without KYC, and Bisc was a major part of that. The thing with Bisc is there's so many different ways to fund your account with it in regards of fiat, whether depending on, what country you're in, what bank you're using, what payment method you want to use. And then from there, so maybe I'll try to do a simple tutorial on it. But if you're ever curious, please always go to, I think it's Bisc.network, I believe is their official website. They have a very extensive FAQ section. So really, no matter kind of what situation you're particularly in, they're going to have a solution for you, or, what to be aware of. So I feel like if I did an all-inclusive tutorial on Bisc, it would be like a 3-hour-long video, and I'm not sure that's worth it. No. I don't think very many people will make it through that whole video.
Let's go with Fred. Toby and Heidi, your opinion, is ETH better return than BTC? So is ETH going to return better? That is a really good question. And, I think with the market cap right now, I mean, it's easier for ETH to double than Bitcoin, but also Bitcoin can go ballistic. So usually during a bull run, like the last two ones that we've been through, they've done this, what you call a face ripping, face melting rally in Bitcoin, where it just kind of leaves all the alts behind and just goes on its own. And I expect the same thing to happen this bull run. With that said, ETH, I think there's a lot, I think that 70% of the smart contract ecosystem is built on ETH right now.
There's so many different altcoins that are launched on Ethereum that are Ethereum tokens. But
I
don't know. I mean, Ethereum also has, a lot of this buildup of these new updates that they're going to do. Yeah, ETH 2.0, that's going to be what, in like probably 3 years? Being honest.
Hopefully.
When are they ever on time?
Yeah. Okay.
And, they get bugs and stuff. So it is fundamentally a different kind of cryptocurrency from Bitcoin. So from me, my gut reaction is Bitcoin is a better return just because, in my opinion, it's much more of a solid investment rather than Ethereum. But Ethereum's got a kick-ass network effect going for it and is building a lot of really cool things and bringing a lot of innovation to crypto. So obviously, if you're a Patreon member, you can look at our portfolio and you'll see that's why there are two biggest holdings.
Yeah, it is our two biggest. And I'm pretty patient with investments. For instance, I haven't really been selling any Bitcoin for 7 to 8 years now. I'll write it all the way down. I don't care. And it pays off. I know it's going to pay off. So Lee 93, is XMR Monero, which is a privacy coin, going to match BTC? No, definitely not. But it is really good for
it's a great privacy
obfuscation.
Coin to have. Yeah. But in terms of network strength and security, I would trust Bitcoin more. But that's just me.
This is a great question, Josh.
It's coming
along,
Josh.
And I've been asking Heidi every single day.
Excuse me.
What about that book, young lady? So Heidi is writing a book right now. Heidi's been writing it for about 3 years now. And
it's coming along, guys.
It is. She's not going to put out a piece of crap, NFT book that, is meaningless and people just read it and throw it away. It's going to be something that you're going to want to read over and over again. And it's going to be useful for decades, I think. And that's what's so amazing about it. and she's got a lot of patience, and it's challenging my patience as well because I really want it out during the bull run because I think it's going to reach out more people if it's done during a bull run. But we'll see. Hopefully soon.
Yoda Man X. Bitcoin used too much electricity to be a good crypto in the future. Proof of work is an old tech. Proof of stake is more efficient. All right, let's address this. The electricity put in for Bitcoin, yes, it is a lot compared to any other small cryptocurrency, even other small proof of work cryptocurrencies. If you're comparing it to the infrastructure that is used to run the US dollar monstrosity, it pales in comparison. And also that the electricity and the computing power put into mining Bitcoin to securing the network is essential for the health of and the security of Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency that is actively disrupting every fiat currency, every payment system that currently exists. If that isn't a legitimate reason to spend electricity on, I don't know what is. Additionally, proof of stake, it might be, it's obviously more energy efficient, but it is not tested security-wise, requiring, the only reason you're able to help to secure the network is if you're holding a certain amount of coins. That can be a power struggle. That can be another, the pay-to-play kind of a game scheme with proof of stake. To me, proof of stake is yet to be proven. And to me, for Bitcoin, proof of work is absolutely justified in the amount of electricity used.
Yeah, I mean,
also they're using renewable energy most of the time. So let's get that out.
I mean, Bitcoin is also the most secure network in the history of the world.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of energy for that, but it still is infinitely, exponentially cheaper than the US dollar, which has, the US troops backing it. And, that's 80 different countries in the world have US troops in there to make sure that people use the US dollar for their oil trade. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. That's the whole reason for the US military. Yeah. And then you have the banking structure, which takes up, oh my gosh, ridiculous amounts of energy and human consumption as well.
Not to mention the amount of electricity and energy and oil that Bill Gates uses.
Oh yeah. And then you have $550 million or $1 trillion in global debt. That's inflating away at about 7.5% a year. That's huge amount of capital destruction right there. So there's just literally no comparing Bitcoin to anything else. I mean, all the other cryptocurrencies out there aren't even close to as secure as Bitcoin. So I mean, it's going on and on and on. But yeah, it's.
Brent is asking, are you earning any interest on your Bitcoin like on BlockFi or Celsius? Not Bitcoin, but we did trade some profits from our altcoins and put that into USDC.
We put in $100
on BlockFi.
Yep.
I did a tutorial on it. I also did a video on what no one is saying about BlockFi if you'd like to get as unbiased an opinion on it as I could have given. Also for Celsius, I know there's so many people praising Celsius, but guys, they don't even have a website or a web app for it
Heidi's
yet.
Going to do a video on that.
That's crazy. It's only on mobile. So I heard on April 19th that web app hopefully will be open to the public. And when that rolls around, I'll be doing a tutorial on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to do PayPal. And actually, you guys had great comments in the past videos in that BlockFi series on these different lending platforms to check out. So like Nexo, Voyager, Gemini had one as well. So there's a bunch of them I'm going to dig into. So one at a time. But yeah, basically.
Fred asks, when do you appear on Netflix? The movie is being made right now. And so I would say by next year, it should be showing on Netflix. It takes a little while for them to get through to Netflix, but eventually our show will be on it as well. So I'm looking really forward to that. It's going to be fun. And then you get a more personal view, like glimpse into our lives and stuff, and see
Yeah.
what actually Heidi's other passion that she does as well, which is
Saving lives.
pretty much Heidi saves my life literally every time I go surfing out there. And she makes sure we're safe. She makes sure that if I fall on like an 80-foot wave or 70-foot wave, that, you know, they're there to pick me up. And it's really good. You know,
Yeah.
it's really nice to be able to work with that and then come right here and do this channel. It's fantastic because I can literally leave my water life in the water and then go straight into crypto because I love it. So it's pure passion in and out of the water every day. It's
Hey,
amazing.
Paolo.
Hey,
Good to see you
Paolo.
guys here.
What's up, buddy?
Just in time for the ending, Paolo.
Yeah.
We've gone on for 45 minutes.
So anyways,
Oh, let me see if there's any other questions from here. Maybe we can talk. I know, real quick. Okay, save those from later. Oh, maybe this one. Hey guys, what coin should I invest my stimulus check in? What should people put their stimmies in?
well, it depends if you don't have any Bitcoin, probably Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If you have your Bitcoin, Ethereum, if you have those two, then go on our
Check out our
Patreon,
Patreon.
for sure. And then because
Yeah.
if we gave out all of our coins, it'd be unfair for our Patreon members. So yeah, but we've done really well, and I'm really happy for you guys. And I'm talking with Hugo once again to see if he's like how many people he's willing to take under his belt to look over their portfolios, see where they can go, see what changes they can make. And we'll let you guys know when we decide to do that
Yeah.
and how much it will be.
Night Oak saying, glad to find you today. Listen to Nomad Capitalist and watch like 5 hours of your stuff. Great. Glad you guys,
Awesome.
glad you found us. And we're here every Monday, noon Eastern time.
Best stable coin, USDC right now for me. Anyways, I'm going to keep, should I just
We're gonna
like
keep going.
yank these out to you? Let's see. One more question. I just had
This
one.
one?
Oh, Theta. Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
That's going to be a great. Make sure you stake it.
Yeah.
And you get Theta Fuel, which is going up like crazy
That's
as well.
the trick.
Yeah, can't
Don't be
believe-
distracted by the 1% return. It's about the fuel.
It
what you're
really
getting paid
is.
in.
It really is. Yeah. A show. Yes, it's going to be a movie that we are, and
Netflix,
it'll be
yeah.
my second one. Heidi's first. So on Netflix, be great.
But I've already been on Crypto Tips for like 5 years, so
She's way more famous than I am.
no way. Thank you everyone
Yeah.
for tuning in. Really enjoy these live streams as always. So yeah, keep in touch and
Stay
hit
disobedient.
subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Yes,
Sorry,
and
I'm like screaming
everything.
in my microphone.
Like everything, and
subscribe to this channel if you haven't already.
please stay disobedient.
Yeah.
It's the only way for freedom.
So Toby can sleep good at night. No,
Yeah,
there's more
pretty
disobedient
much.
people out there. We'll
Anyways.
catch you again next time. See you soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye.